Hey everyone, Gormy here. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys the top 5 countries to manage in for Football Manager 21. Now that we're basically halfway through the life cycle of FM21, the amount of save ideas people may be running low on them. So I thought I would bring you guys the top 5 countries to manage in, as well as a few save ideas to go along with them. Now, these are the top 5 countries, in my opinion, that I've had the most fun managing in, or that I know have just an endless amount of opportunities to have great saves in. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to be starting with the honorable mentions. I've got 2 countries that I have for honorable mentions. Now, the first one being Serbia. Now, their top league is called the Super League, and there are 2 teams that I really like from this league. One being Red Star, one being Partizan. Now, they have a very rich history between these 2 clubs. They are massive rivals. It is one of the biggest derbies in Europe, especially in Eastern Europe. Now, a save idea I have for the Super League here in Serbia is with Partizan. Partizan also, like I said, very rich club with history, but they don't have a European title. They don't have a EuroLeague. They don't have a Champions League, whereas Red Star have won the Champions League. So I think that trying to do so with Partizan would be very fun to do, very challenging. And I mean, they are big in the Serbian Super League, so I mean, you will be able to contend for the league right out the gate, but you definitely want to have your eyes set on European domination, not just domestic domination. So that is the first honorable mention with Serbia. All right, next we have got Denmark. That is the other honorable mention that I have country-wise. Absolutely love this league. So much fun to manage in. There are a lot of different ways you can go about managing in this league, because you can go for a building a nation with just going with a team like FC Midtjylland, Copenhagen, Nordstrand, AAB, Brøndby, any of them, and you can do all Danish players. You can go for European domination once again, like with Partizan over in Serbia. You can try and do that with any of these teams here. But one of the most fun saves that I think anyone could possibly do is with FC Nordstrand. Now, the reason why I say that is because of their vision and how the team is set up. So, you'll notice that the stadium name is Right to Dream Park. It is a program that they have. Now, what it is they bring in players from Ghana and give them the right to dream, the right to have a future in the game of football. And it is very cool. They also have the youngest team in the league. They have a lot of really good young kids. And I mean, one such player is Magnus, I believe it's Kofod. He is very good. I mean, very good. And right away, when I was playing with them, I got offers from teams like Arsenal for him. So he is definitely a top Danish talent. And I mean, Ghanan player wise, I mean, you can just look through anyone really. And I mean, Ibrahim Sadiq, he's going to be one of their bigger players in the future. He still needs a little bit of time to grow, but Ibrahim Sadiq definitely will be a big player for them. And then Kamaldeen Suleimana, he is a very good wonder kid this year. If you can get him to grow correctly, meaning utilize all the strengths of his game. So technically, I mean, he can finish. You definitely want to utilize his dribbling, crossing, first touch, passing technique. And he is a very pacey player. So being a very pacey winger, if you need that, definitely look into getting Kamaldeen Suleimana. He will be great for you, especially if you develop him the right way. All right, so coming in at number 5, we have got Switzerland with the Super League. The Super League, once again, very fun league to manage in. Now, it is a smaller league, so you're only going to have 10 teams in the league. And honestly, it can become pretty easy to dominate the league domestically, but that is just the first thing that you have to work towards, is dominating the league domestically and then getting into Europe, trying to win a Europa League, trying to win a Champions League with a team from Switzerland. And FC Basel, definitely a team you can do that with. They have produced players such as Donald Bimbolo, Mo Salah, two very, very good, especially Mo Salah, very, very good talents that have come from Basel. Now, a team that I like a lot is Zurich. They are a very, very young team that has a lot of promising players in it. Now, another team that is like that is St. Gallen. They are both very, very good young teams that you can definitely develop into taking over domestically and then working towards Europe. But if you're looking to take over domestically in the short term, and then the long-term goal is dominating Europe, Basel's the way to go. But if you want a long save, St. Gallen, Zurich, definitely ways to go. Young Boys, another team that, along with Basel, you can definitely dominate domestically early on and then aim to win a Champions League or Europa League in the future. Next up, at number 4, we have got Scotland. Now, the Scottish Premiership is a very fun league to manage in. There are actually 4 leagues that you can manage in Scotland, whereas the other 3 countries that I've named, you have 2. I don't know why I put 3, 2 for those other leagues. Now, with Scotland, like I said, you have 4 different leagues you can manage in, but the Scottish Premiership is where the big dogs are, such as Rangers and Celtic. Now, Celtic have dominated for years. Rangers this year, very proud of them and what Stevie G was able to accomplish, and finally ending the run of Celtic. And I mean, that's nothing against Celtic. It's good to see a bit of change with a new team coming in, and especially a historic team like Rangers doing that. Now, save-wise in Scotland, you can definitely go for what Stevie G did this year. Go ahead, manage Rangers, try and knock off Celtic. Or even try and do it with a team like Dundee United. Do it with a team like Motherwell. Hearts in the second Scottish division. You can try and bring them back up and try and dominate the Scottish Premiership. But one that I think would be a lot of fun to do is bringing Aberdeen back to the top of Scottish football. Now, if you are a huge football fan or just know anything about Man United or Scottish football, you'll know that Sir Alex Ferguson came from Aberdeen. And if you can go there and do what he did with that team, it would be absolutely phenomenal. And to make them into the dominant team in the Scottish Premiership and challenge in European competitions, whether it be the EuroLeague or the Champions League, it would be a lot of fun to do so. And you get a pretty decent young player to work with, as his name is, let me get to him right here, Lewis Ferguson. Really, really like this kid. Now, if you are looking to bring in a player on the cheap, they will sell him for about $2 million. But definitely, if you are managing with Aberdeen, try and do everything possible to hang on to this kid, Lewis Ferguson. He is a great, great player in the midfield. All right, so coming in at number 3, we have got the Czech Republic. Now, there are 3 big dogs in this league. It is Slavia Prague, Sparta Prague, and Victoria Pleasant. Victoria Pleasant is that team that kind of likes to come in, spoil the party for Sparta Prague and Slavia Prague. Victoria Pleasant has some very, very good young players. Same with Sparta Prague and Slavia Prague. But the team that I highly recommend trying to save out with is Sparta Prague. Another team, Bohemians 1905. They are a very, very good historic club in the Czech Republic, but it is one that you would have to build up. There's a lot of teams here that you would have to build up, but Sparta Prague is a team that is on the brink of domestic domination, but you want to dominate in European competition, and Sparta Prague is definitely a team that is built to do so. with players like Adam Hlocek here who can play out on the wings or up top. Very, very good young player at just 18 years old. Filip Suchek, another player at 19 years old that will be a beast in the midfield for you. They have a very, very good group of younger players mixed with a little bit of veteran leadership. They have a very, very good group here. And, I mean, they have legends like Thomas Rosicki, who is there working currently and really likes to help you out quite a bit because I have done a save with Sparta Prague, and they are a lot of fun to do. All right, so coming in at number 2, we have got Russia. Now, with the Russian Premier League and the First League, they are very, very fun, very, very challenging. Now, there is a rule in Russia that you can only have up to 8 players not from Russia in your team. Now, in the First League, which is the league below the Premier League, you can only have 4. When you are in the top league, you can have 8. So definitely you need to plan around that, but you can definitely do a building a nation type save with this with any team really. Now I am doing a save currently over on my Twitch with Dynamo Moscow. If you guys would like to check that out, link will be in the description. You can check me out at twitch.tv/ygormy. So if you guys would like to check that out, feel free to do so. But they are a very, very fun team to play with. They have some pretty good young talents on that team. Another team that would be a lot of fun to do is Krasnodar. They've got some money. They have a very, very well-balanced team over there. Now, a top save idea for me personally that I think a lot of you would have fun with is Sochi. They are a team that kind of floats between mid-table and contention, but they are a team that definitely needs a little bit of work. But if you are willing to put in the work, you can create a domestic giant here with Sochi. Now, the big challenge will be competing in Europe. Now, in my opinion, there's only really 2 to 3 teams that I think can really compete in Europe sooner rather than later, and that is Zenit, Spartak Moscow, and CSKA Moscow. A lot of these other teams need a little bit of work. Krasnodar is maybe 1 to 2 players away from being able to do that, but Spartak Moscow, CSKA Moscow, and Zenit have all the pieces in place to be able to do so. But Sochi, definitely a team that is a very fun save idea to do in the Russian Premier League. Finally, coming in at number 1, we have got Germany. Now, Germany is at number 1 because, first of all, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Second of all, there are very few restrictions to what you are able to build your roster around. There isn't anything like Brexit with England. There isn't anything like in Russia to where you can only have 8 players, 4 players not from your country, or you have to have a certain amount of players from whatever. Germany is very, very open to what you can have in your teams. Now, one cool thing is a lot of the teams do like signing players based in Germany, or they like developing their players through their youth system, meaning let's get as many German players through as possible. Now, with that being said, there are certain teams that do like having more German players than others. Certain teams like that are Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen. Those teams are heavy in German players. But like I said, you can build your teams however you want here in Germany. And it's a lot of fun because there are 3 different leagues you can manage in. Bundesliga 1, 2, or 3. How creative with that. Now, there are certain teams that I do recommend over others. Now, Bayern Munich, easily going to be the easiest save you can do in Germany. Dortmund, it is easy, but it's one that you can really develop youth players like Giovanni Reina, Moukoko, Reiner, if you want to bring him back once he goes back to Madrid. Jude Bellingham, Erling Haaland, try and keep him there because that's going to be highly difficult to do so. Leverkusen, another team that will be kind of easier, but with Bayer Leverkusen, it's definitely going to be a little bit harder than it would be with Dortmund to try and overtake Bayern Munich. Hertha Berlin just got a huge influx of money, so you can definitely create a super giant here in the Bundesliga with Hertha Berlin. RB Leipzig, they love having really, really good young players to develop and then sell on in the future. But a save that I would recommend big time here is with Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now, they are predicted to finish 5th, but they are definitely needing more work than, say, Bayer Leverkusen to challenge Bayern Munich. Borussia Mönchengladbach definitely are at least 3 years away, I'd say, of just constant, okay, let's bring in this guy, let's sell this guy, get as much profit as we can, build up the team, build up the youth system, and boom, we can challenge Bayern Munich. I think that Borussia Mönchengladbach is a great longer-term save to do, because once you are able to challenge a team like Bayern Munich, you can then dominate domestically and then try and dominate in Europe. Another team that you could do that with is Schalke. They are an absolute mess right now, so if you can fix them, feel free to try and do so. But they have really, really been good at having young talents come through the club. So if you can get back to doing that, hold on to your talents and get them financially stable, that would be very, very cool to see. Now, another team is Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg is a team that just a few years ago fell out of graces and went down, but they came back up and are now looking pretty solid. They have some fun players there. One of my favorite players, they used to play there, Best Dost. They kind of have a new version of him currently. He is very, very good. They also have some pretty solid players like Baku, who is very, very solid in the future. Let me get to this striker. I believe it's Wout Weghorst. He is kind of their new Bas Dost. He is on the slower side, but he is 6'6", very strong, very good at finishing, very good in the air. So that is another safe idea that you could go with here in the Bundesliga. But that is going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that you guys try these countries out, try out some of these saves. Let me know down in the comments below if you have managed in any of these countries and what saves you did. And please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.